Hey guys, let's wrap up this video series about uploading files to the cloud to Azure Blob Storage. This is where we left off, where we received our images coming from the front-end component, from the upload component in our Blazor WebAssembly app, and it was posted to our backend, our controller, and they are accessible in here. So now we want to upload those to the Azure Blob Storage. Let's start by creating a storage account in Azure. So you'll need an account on the Azure portal, and you'll need a subscription. You can do this by clicking subscriptions and add a new one. You can start off for free, but you'll probably have to add your credit card details or something like that. Let me quickly show you what I have at the moment. I have a few app service instances, a SQL database, a few front-end static web app and projects, another app service, which is a background worker service, another front-end, another backend. And let me show you the costs of what I currently pay per month. I will show you by clicking on my subscription. And I'm trying to hide my personal details as far as I'm capable of doing that. So it's forecasting about 15 euros per month. That's about $16, I think, nowadays. So that's not a lot. You have to say I scaled everything down to the bare minimum. So I think those app services cost not even $5 a month, and static web apps are free. The storage account should be free as well. The database is going to cost some. Anyway, let's create a new storage account. Create storage account. Select a resource group. Storage account, I'm gonna call it pet storage. This has to be lowercase. Pet storage. I could call it pet blob store. It's not a great name, but okay. West Europe. I'm going to try to use the minimum specifications, the cheapest ones. Feel free to take some more time and read everything through and Google some stuff. We'll definitely want this public access true, since we want our images, our uploaded images, to be publicly accessible. Publicly displaying those. We'll want this one too, a storage account key access, so we can authenticate with a secret key in our code. And here we're going to choose hot, since cool is more for backups and stuff, for files you'll not access too much, not too frequently. Hot, since our app should have at least a few Visits per day, we're gonna pick hot. You can restrict access, allow only VPNs or certain IP addresses, or you could make it entirely private access, only privately accessible. Routing preference, we're gonna just go with the recommended one. These are some cool settings for keeping your storage account clean. So items you delete will be, you'll be able to recover those for 7 days, and then they'll be permanently deleted. Same for containers. It's good. Enable versioning for blobs is actually very interesting for another use case, for if you need your app to have multiple languages support. The reason most people or projects or teams keep those translation files inside the project is because of versioning. They want it to be versioned alongside the project's code. But actually that's not a very good solution at all, since every time you have a small typo, you have to rebuild your app, redeploy it, republish it, and all those things just for some small changes that don't really impact the code base or the performance of the app. It's not really a part of the app actually. So they could perfectly be files in the blob storage, these translation files, accessed only by the frontend. They don't need to be in the frontend project or in the backend project. For larger projects, at least. Okay, enough about that. You can increase the encryption way of encrypting your files to make it more secure with your own logic or certificates or something, or keys. Anyway, we're just going to keep this Microsoft managed. I didn't see if this was the default selected one or not. It seems like not changeable after the fact, after creating the account. If we're only going to use it for images, I'll probably not worry about this too much, but I'll just leave it there in case we use our storage for other type of files. Okay. This is something billing related, so you can have a better overview of your costs per, I don't know. Should definitely learn more about that. And this is the review, and we can create it. And the create button is all the way here. And we have our, it's still in progress. Let's go take a look. You see an upload button here. Could start uploading files. I don't even have a container yet. Let's create one right away. New container. Let's see. I'm just gonna call it profile. Pictures. private. It sounds like private, but let's go for the blob, anonymous read access for blobs only. I think this is meant to, like, the image files can be accessed, but maybe not other types of files. Or at least not the container cannot be accessed or something. Yeah, so we can't. Your application wouldn't be able to list all the files in your blobs container with this. For that, you'll need the one below. I don't think we'll need it right now, but all right. Okay. I created that one, and it now exists. I'm not going to. Got a lot of options. I'm first going to check out if my monthly costs increased a lot or not. What I don't see is these containers. That's maybe. Would imagine this. Would expect to see the container and then click through to get to see what's inside. But anyway, let's. The forecast seems to have increased. Not really increased, maybe by 50 cents or something. It's probably going to go up if our files in the storage get accessed a lot, or if we upload a lot of files. That blob store, that's what we just made. And we're here again. Over here we can see our containers, which seems to have none. We could even let's see. Nope. Where did our blob container go? The one we just created. You could even host a static website here, but we have the static web app service as well with CI/CD and stuff. Access keys are going to be important to make a connection to this account in our code, through our code. Let's upload a dummy file and see where it ends up. Oh, the container wasn't made, it seems like, for some reason. Just selected a picture of my dogs. Let's upload. Let's now refresh or go to the storage browser. And now we have our profile pics one with one image. Let's see if we get there as well. Clicking on the containers, profile pics. Yep. We can view our uploaded files, which are going to be handy for the for debugging. Okay, let's get coding. I am going to make a new class library under the libs folder. New project, class library. And what name? Blob store. Blob storage. What sounds best? I don't know. C#. It's a class library. Let's do it. Let's set up our class library like we usually do it. Configure services. Call it. It's probably going to be static. And let's just copy things over. Let's just copy this over. Add blob storage. And we'll have to install the packages. I'm already going to make a config folder. Oh. Going to make an interface folder. Oh. Keep doing it wrong. And then a services folder. And probably a README. And I'm just going to give it a title and a description quickly. Okay, next up is the packages. Let's go look in our CS approach. Copy all these configuration options and dependency injection packages over. Like this. I'm going to make a class storage service inheriting from an interface ICE. Maybe blob storage service. Make an interface. And inherit. So we can inject it here. Storage service. Storage service. This one is going to be our own config model. We could call it storage config. It's probably going to hold this account key or connection string. And let's do it like that. Let's not forget to add this library to our API. I was working in my shared API, but it might be a better idea to just add it in the pet social API. Depends on where I'm actually going to upload. Let's see what we did with the mailing. The email service we also added the shared API, so we're just going to follow the same pattern. I think. I don't know. This is a weird one. This happened here at mailing, yet we're accessing it in the shared API, but the shared API is called in here. So yeah, let's see, builder.services.add blob. I have to add a project reference. To the blob storage. There's one more package we need, and that's the one of the Azure Blob storage. Azure.storage.blobs, as the Microsoft Docs is telling me. Let's see. Install it. Seems like a beta package. Maybe I should have picked the stable one. Anyway. See, storage blobs is there. So now we could either authenticate with an access key or with a connection string. Connection string method seems less code, simpler. So let's go with that. Let's first create this property. Connection string. And we will have to add that to our app settings. You will want to add it to your app settings.json, but for the video, for not exposing my other credentials, I'm going to put it in the develop one. I'm quickly going to rename this one to blob storage config to make it more declarative. And then I would add blob storage config, the name of the class, and then the connection string, and this should be retrieved from portal. Under access keys, you can either use the key, but then you also need the name, or you could use the connection string. I'm gonna copy and paste it and then hide it from you. You can rotate these, and I think they might get rotated after a while for security purposes. Just gonna say connection string here, and I'm gonna going to set the actual connection string in my app settings.json. Since I now did that, I could leave it in here, but you could have, of course, multiple connection strings or multiple storage accounts, or maybe just multiple containers. One for develop, one for staging, one for production, and then have specific configuration per environment. I'm going to add two more things. I think I'll need account name and container name. I'm kind of violating the you aren't going to need it principle. Trying to get ahead of myself. Might bite me in the butt. And then we have, of course, count name and container name. And now I'm going to get this to my app settings JSON, or yeah. My container name was this. So this is the account name, that blob store, and the container name I want to access is profile pics. Okay, let's make sure I don't accidentally show you my secrets, my credentials. Let's start building out functionality. And let's maybe make a private read-only blob service client. Make a constructor and say blob storage client equals new blob storage client. And now we need our configuration to access our configuration. Just like in the mailing app. Something like this. The I options from configuration. Private read-only blob storage config. And let's make sure to wrap this with I options. Access the value, and this then should be can we do connection string? Or should we access this, not connection string? Let's see, can we actually do anything with this blob client? Get blob containers. Okay. We'll probably need something like, let's see, can we can create blob containers if we want to. We might, no, I don't think we need that. Unless they see a container like a directory or a folder. Maybe you want to apply some structure, some dynamically created structures. Let's see. I think we need blob container client. This wants a container name. I think there's an async one or not. Async. No. Maybe we want to put in a new variable read only. Oops. Container client. And let's say and now we can probably work with that. Let's see what our API will send. Those are form files, images. I hope we can just upload those. Or maybe we need to read them again or something. Doesn't look good. Let's just make a method upload. I don't know what it will have yet, probably just this enumerable iForm file. It's probably something typical to the HTTP API. Let's not mess around with that now. And let's see, blob container client dot upload blob async. So we'll have to wait it. It seems like it either wants first a file name and then either a binary buffer or a stream object. And a cancellation token. Okay. Let's call this like upload blobs for multiple. And we're going to have to see how we will fix this issue. Probably open read stream again. This returns a stream object. Let's just test it with one first. So then have let's add this to the interface. Let's see. Let's inject this blob storage service. I'm going to rename this one to blob storage service. Okay. Now we might have a little issue here. Add the reference. I hope it's going to be able to resolve this service. Should. The mailing can do it. This one should be able to do it too. Await blob storage service dot upload, and we're going to pass first. And that should be an iForm file. Or we could map it to a custom object ourselves. Let's see. It seems to be a HTTP one. HTTP.NET Core. Just make it a little easier for now. And see. Let's see. I'm too lazy to map this object from iForm file to something else, and might not be the worst ID, but I'm not going to reference to ASP.NET Core in here, so just do it ourselves. Let's see. Next is going to be probably stream. Just going to call it S for now. Let's see. I don't know if that's a great idea to pass it like that. That's going to get a stream. Maybe could say new stream content. It's more like HTTP content again. Let's try that. And a last thing, this upload actually in here might throw an error. So we could try catch it or either in here or in there. I prefer to do it on the top level. Let's rebuild everything and test it out from frontend to backend to hopefully Azure Blob Storage. Okay, so I'm going to run my backend and my frontend if I can. Let's select a file. Everything seems to have gone fine. This error is undeleted. Preview is here. Let's check out the backend. Not seeing any errors. And it did upload on the first attempt, which is pretty good. And let's see if it's publicly available in a new tab. Oh. Browsing there downloads the file. I expected to just see it. I don't see anything of it being public or something. Just says available. Properties. It's gonna open the same thing. Let's just copy this link and see if we can load it in our image. Let's check out our SPA. Let's maybe just put it in here underneath an image tag with this link. And let's rerun the front end. And it seems to have worked. This is actually from the Blob store. With the alt. Cool. That was pretty easy. Of course, you can do way more with it. But this is how we started. Oops. Afterwards, you might probably want maybe let's see, this is gonna give you a response, maybe with the URL or something, or the status. Let's see. I did call it result. And you could get the data, but the actual URL is not in here. The content is. We kind of use the file name to store it, so actually constructing our own unique file name would be a good idea, and then storing that file name into the database would also be a good idea, I think. And then just the next time you load your app, it's going to load, for example, all the products, and then with a URL to the blob storage image, the picture of the product being stored in the blob storage. But of course, you need to know just the file name is not enough. Oh, probably you might want to know how to. Maybe you only want to store the file name, or maybe you want to store the entire URL in your database. And if you only store the file name, you'll have to reconstruct this URL in the front end each time, which seems feasible since it's nothing dynamic. But it would be a good idea to just store the entire URL in there. I think that's all for now. We could do better error handling. We could do more with containers, better file names, and all that stuff. Let's just give this one a better name. We could maybe check this result for errors or for being not null or something. Just gonna call this file stream. Oops. It's not a very good name, but whatever. Okay, that's all. I see this response is nullable, so if we don't get a response, it might have failed or something like that. Let's quickly see. This upload one seems to be only for creating new blobs and not for updating or overwriting existing blobs. This might throw an error, and they recommend to use another approach if you want to overwrite or replace certain files. Lastly, I'm just going to rename these things maybe to blob name and content. Seems a bit overkill to make an entire class library and service that's actually just doing more or less the same as the original blob client, but that's just how I like to structure things and make it future proof for expanding, for testing, for reusing this class library and all that good stuff. That's all for this series. Ciao.